We didn't start recording.
Oh, sorry. So there
Yeah,
was
go
something
on.
I learned from you that is one of the most it's one of the I think it's the most powerful tool I've seen you use on Ableton Live, and it's a stock plugin.
Yeah.
It's Overdrive.
Oh yeah, I use that a
You know,
lot.
just like Brent said Brent said some people don't like Overdrive. I hate Overdrive. I feel, what's the use of this stuff? But there was a way you used it. And in one of the videos I saw, and you were like, just play around with things. So, and there's this vocal sound that I've always wanted my vocals to be in. Lots of Nigerian artists, you know, songs have that. Like, so when you did that, then there was something you did that was so powerful. You put the EQ before the saturator or vocal or overdrive. Then you took down the low end of the in the EQ. When you took that down, oh my God, oh my Lord, it was just next level, next level.
That's
Since
exactly what I
then,
was just saying.
yeah. So I didn't want you to say it. I wanted to let you know that we got that from you. It honestly, it was next level. If I just made a plugin, kept it somewhere. When I slap it on any male vocal, no matter how bad the singer was, it was really lovely. I really appreciate you for that. Thank you so much. Yeah,
Yeah, you're
yeah. Please
welcome.
go
You're
ahead. I just
welcome.
wanted to just say that.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for saying that because I don't know who's watching my stuff. I just discover these things and I put them out there to the world. So, and if I don't hear that people are actually learning something from it, I don't know until you say something. Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. That if you EQ their vocal into the distortion, it gives you a different sound, and it goes the other way around. You can turn down the eyes of the vocal and let the lower mid and the mid go in, and you can also turn down the lows and the high and saturate only the middle and create
This
different
is this is
sound.
this is new. This is
Yeah,
new.
yeah, and you
Because
saturate
I've
only.
always I've always done the other one where you just turn down the low end and saturate the highs. Sounds amazing.
Yeah,
So if you want to turn down the highs to saturate the low, would it be for those instruments that have their major frequencies around that end, like for the kick drums, saturate
there you
at the
go,
low?
there you go, because we have to know. There's something I learned from Joe, what's his name? Joe Shikarali is one of those old school engineer. Let me find his name because I like to give people credit. Is a mix engineer, is one of the best ones right there. Uh Joe Chiccarelli. What is his name? Is an old school guy.
I'm checking also. Let me just check.
Uh,
Joe.
yeah, Joe Chiccarelli. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's his name, Joe Chiccarelli. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. If you Chiccarelli, if you go on Google, you see it. I'm on my Google right now. I can see him, but because Brent is
I could
sharing.
stop sharing and
Okay,
let
let,
you.
let, let me share so I can put his picture on here because we're recording this. Yeah, Joe Chiccarelli is one of the baddest engineer. There's something he said that I learned from him years ago. It said when you trying to process, this is a recording, this is a recording hack. He said when he's recording back in the day, when he's recording, if he's trying to record a vocal and he listen to the vocal of this artist and he noticed that the natural vocal has more lows, guess what he does? He gives the vocalist an opposite microphone, a microphone that has a boost on the high end.
Oh,
If it's a vocal that has more high mid range, it gives the vocalist a mic that has boost on the lower mid. So you see how it does the contrast, because
Yeah.
the mic has to complement the singer. If you
Yeah.
give a male vocal singer who has a lot of roo, 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 and give it a mic that has woo, 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 what happened? You got
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
got two low end on top of each other, and it
Too,
starts to distort.
Yeah.
right, too much low in right there.
Yeah. So he said that's one of the best tricks I learned from him in recording. So, you know, and the same goes to when you're mixing. If you have a sound that's already low mid, you want to add a distortion from the opposite. So when that's the reason why that trick work for vocal, because vocal is a mid range, high mid vocal. So we want to turn down the lower side of it so we can push the distortion towards that area. And for a bass, you want to saturate that area. You have to turn down the lower, the higher end, so the side of it can get saturated. And also you want to also, you can also do the opposite as well. So hope that makes sense, you know. What I'm
Yeah.
trying to,
Yeah. Can I ask a question?
yeah.
So, would it be okay to have like a second chain on a female vocal? So I have a chain. One is her dry vocal. Then I have another chain that has an EQ. The EQ will cut out the highs, then saturate the low end because most ladies, don't have the low end is a bit empty, There's no low end.
Yeah.
So is it okay to like turn down the highs and
Yeah. Which is
saturate the lows,
what I'm
then
trying to
just
explain.
just take it up a little bit, mix it, push the gain a bit till you have a better sound,
Yeah.
or you have
So
a kind of
that's what I was saying. Maybe I probably didn't explain it properly. That technique work for male vocal because male is a lower range vocal. If it's a female vocal that's that has more high mid, so you
yeah,
want to try the opposite so you can push the energy back down to the low mid a little bit so she has more body. But you could do both actually, because you can get both. For male, I would only probably just do the high mid range saturation, but for female, I'll try to do both. I try to do both because you want the vocals has to sit in the high mid range. Every vocal, whether it's male or female, because you can't put your male vocal in the lower mid. That's where all your keys, your bass, drums, that's what they sit. You still need to push them up. So for female, you can try to saturate the lower mid a little bit because you want them to have some type of body down there because they're weak down there. But you still need to push them in the mix. They need their position in the mix has to be mid range and high mid. Does that make sense?
yes, it does. Thank you.
Yeah. Anyway, are you done? Your mic is muted, Brian.
Even as I always said, even from a sound design standpoint, these things is really important to create a sound and give it body, or adding chords like a lower and a higher, the upper harmonics of the bass and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Even when it comes on to reggae bass, like when you listen to it, sometimes that sweetness is in the top end. The bottom is there, but sometimes you listen to the bass, it really giving you a groove, and it has a particular sound, and it's driving the song. It's not even the kick drum is driving the song. It's the sweet bass. When you listen to some old reggae music, that's what you're really listening to. Even the Bob Marley, you could hear that bass just jumping all around you, like, wow. So, and mostly of the time it's the pluck. It's the pluck complementing the bottom section of the bass you really listen.
Oh yeah, I
You get
remember
what I'm
that.
saying?
I
Yeah,
remember when I used to make a reggae sound back then in Nigeria, you would have with sound design just like a sine wave that's only playing the 60 hertz 50 then you have a pluck that's also replicating the same note but on the higher, and it
right.
sounds so crazy like
Yes.
a big bottom type of sound and the pluck just playing. You know Cobhams, right? uh
Yeah,
Cobalt.
that's what it did for that song you did back then. I don't know if you know that reggae song you did back then with the face, because that was the trick that he used back then. Because I'm a producer friend with him. We kind of grew up together, so that was the trick he used back in that song. Because I saw the session.
Yeah, and I guess it's the same thing, like just separating the low end from the highs,
Okay,
regardless
one
if
second,
it's
guys.
yeah, if it's vocals or instrumental.
nice to meet you, Brian.
Nice to meet you too. I'm kind of an orthodox musician, always thinking to push the bar.
Oh, that's great. That's great. That's great. Do you play musical instruments also?
No, um, more for artists, and then I'm getting into music production. So, you know, actually I write everything. Even I don't know if you ever heard of dub poetry. You ever heard
I
of
didn't get
dub?
that.
Have you ever heard of dub poetry? Dub
Dub
poetry.
poetry.
Yes.
No, I haven't. I haven't.
The basic definition of that is a poem being um, recorded on a beat in a particular style of expression. You
Yeah,
know, yeah, I experiment with that also, and
that's nice.
I sound design also. I I just love sound design because to me, the way how you hear stuff and the way how I hear it is not the same thing. So maybe we're listening to the same bell sound, but you're hearing it in like the 800, and I'm hearing it in the 500. Now, if I'm gonna recreate that sound, I'm gonna recreate what I hear, and if you're gonna recreate that sound, you're gonna recreate what you hear. So, what is registering in the brain. So we're gonna get two different sounds,
Yeah,
right?
I
So
understand.
that's why
I
I love
understand.
sound design.
I write also. I write songs. I also write for some artists and I produce myself. That's one of the challenges, trying to do everything, just like a one-man army. So I have to play the keys, I have to play the bass, I have to play the guitar, the drums.
Mhm.
I have to play literally everything. Sometimes it's not easy. Uh, for me, my experience is it's easier to produce Afro beats. I'm a piano than to like to record Afrobeat. I'm a piano on the rest and to record like I do gospel a lot. So I know for gospel I have to play everything. Play the piano, play the bass, play the guitar, play the drums, play the conga, the percussion,
What what
play
what type
everything.
what type of gospel do you do? Because like in Jamaica, when I heavily involved in gospel music, in my area we were focusing on secular gospel, like dancehall gospel music, which at the time when I was doing it, it was rejected by the church and all of that. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
What genre were you playing the gospel in?
no, at that time I wasn't heavily in music production. I was just
Okay.
writing and DJing and doing the poetry and all of that. You know, I was
Yeah.
focusing on the artistic side of things.
Oh, you mentioned we hear music in different ways. You spoke about hearing music in different frequencies now. Also, I too, I see I see music and categorization in a different light. For instance, I heard gospel is now a genre, but I don't see gospel as a genre. I see gospel as a definition. It just means good news, like good news. No, in Christianity, it's just good news about Jesus, about Christ. So for me, when I write gospel, I write it in different genres. I've done heavy metal gospel. I've done Afrobeat gospel. I've done reggae gospel. I've done R&B gospel. I've done classical gospel.
Okay.
I've done funk gospel. So you get
that's
so
very that's very broad, if you ask me. That's
yeah,
a lot of areas you're covering right there.
Yeah.
yeah.
And
So I don't think yeah. Okay, sorry. Go
I
ahead,
want you
please.
guys to continue. I just want to get the song. Give me a Hill song that you like to mix so I can prepare for the
Ah,
analysis. So while you guys
Thriller.
continue
What?
conversation.
It might not be Hillsong. It might be The Belonging.
No, no, remember earlier you were asking a question
Yes, I
about
said so. Yeah, they have similar kind of mixes. Okay. Let's do. Do you know Speak the Name of Jesus? Says, uh, I
by
just
who?
want to speak the name of Jesus. I have to find the name now. Musicians, we don't know name of artists, but we know the song and we can play it.
Mhm.
Just a second, please. Let me just get this.
Mm. So is this
But
mix is
one,
the one that you're trying to emulate?
yeah, generally, Hill songs have a particular pattern. You
Yeah,
know,
I know. I listened to his
all Hill
song.
songs have, yeah,
Hmm.
they have a particular pattern. Okay, let me just get you one,
My
please. Just a
favorite
second.
is song that I like the song is Ocean and What a Beautiful Name It Is. Those are the two that I like. I think there's one
Can we
more
do
after
What a
that.
Beautiful Name It Is, please?
Yeah, that's like a
Yes,
billion,
What
that's
a
a
Beautiful
billion
Name It
view
Is.
song. Mhm.
Yeah, let's
So
do it,
let's
please.
analyze that one then. Okay.
Yes, please. Thank you
Okay.
so much.
Yeah. So you can continue while I prepare the expert
Um,
analysis while you
yeah,
guys do that.
okay, thanks. So, Brent,
Mhm.
so basically that was it. You have to play a lot and you have to play all these instruments, you know. So I'm just talking about the challenges being a one-man producer.
Well,
You know.
I'm gonna make a comment on that, and this is based
Yeah.
on creativity. As I said before, I enter into music production. I was a full-blown artist. And pertaining to creativity, I approach music from a creative standpoint. If I'm sitting in the only thing that take me a lot of time in music is like music production. And the more I do music production, the more I come to the understanding like music production is like it's not a natural thing. You get what I'm saying? Once you capture that music, right? From the frequency and you're gonna put it together, it becomes unnatural. So when you're creating, you're in a natural state. You get what I'm saying? I call creation, creating music like you're in the baby state. So when you're in the baby state, you're actually playing. Now, adults don't play, they don't have any time to play. You get what I'm saying? You can't play when you're an adult. So things get a little bit difficult there. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I learned this from Vibes Cartel. He had an interview that he said Jamaicans like to limit themselves to like a few topics when it comes on to music creation. Like I'm gonna sing a love song. I'm gonna sing a political song. I'm gonna sing whatever we call inspirational song. We call it a reality song. And he said, I don't limit myself. I don't limit myself in those areas. I go by whatever I'm feeling and thinking at the moment. So you're present and you're involving in whatever you're doing at the moment. So that is my approach. And you know, I would inform you to try that approach. You know, so you know you're gonna maybe I could tell it happened to you already. Like some songs, they don't take no time. It's like you play the bass, no time, keys. It don't matter what song you're making, keys in no time, bass in no time. You drop the kick in no time, and you're just going. You know, that's the creation phase of the baby method. No, when you're there trying to find a bass, trying to find a key, you're not really flowing with your creation method. This is an adult
Yeah.
taking over, trying to, you know, pen and paper stuff. Like I don't pen and paper, you know, I I don't pen and paper. I don't like pen and paper either because I'm gonna think about whatever I'm gonna say and put it on the paper. No, no. I'm flowing and whatever comes up, then I record it, and then I will pen and paper. But I'm not. This is not an English essay that, or I'm thinking I'm brainstorming. No, I can't brainstorm a flow. It's coming straight out of me. I don't know what I'm gonna say. I don't know how I'm gonna say it. You know, I just say it.
Yeah.
And then after that, then I bring in the adult to really structure things and put it together after I get the
Yeah.
natural inspiration. So that's how I go
Yeah.
about music
Well,
production.
that's really nice, you know. You know, for me, I kind of use several approaches. Oh, I think should we still continue talking, Bumi, or
Yeah, I'm ready when you guys are.
Okay.
okay, because you know I use I've worked with some artists, and I usually start with the conceptualization stage. Just like there was this video Bumi posted some time ago when we talked about tips to song creation. You know, I really love those videos because I've 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 done some training on that some years
Oh,
back. So when I saw you did that, I was quite happy. You know,
which
the
one?
one
Which
where you
video is
said,
that?
yeah, I'm going to kind of, I might not know the topic, the name of the video, but I'm going to explain and you'll remember now.
Oh,
You know,
okay.
you talked about number one, having not having more than three melodies going on, you
Oh,
know.
okay.
Yeah, that is honestly, and you went and you tried to play some songs that are, you know, on the charts, listen to what they are doing, and you talk, yeah, that's one. You also spoke about if you listen, they always have like an arpeggiated, something
Yeah,
arpeggiated going on.
melodic driver and harmonic
Yeah,
drivers. I remember that.
exactly, exactly.
Mm.
I'm so sorry. I'm doing some study on something apart from music. So right now my brain is just filled with project management stuff because I have an
Oh
exam
no.
coming.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah. No worries, no
so
worries.
so anyway, so just to quickly end this, Brent. So there are some people, there are some artists that the only way they can write is by listening to a beat. So I do try to tell them I don't think that's bad, but they have to still learn to start something from nowhere. For me, I don't really write songs when I listen to beats. What happens is I see myself in a space when I write a song, and I ask this question: How do I want the audience? What reaction do I want them to have at this point? So it's just a little tip of how I write. You know, like what you said, I do what you said too, where I try to test things around, play things around. You know, someone actually said the rule for creativity, it's when you just mess about with a lot of things. After messing
That's what
about, you get to
that's what I'm saying.
exactly, yeah,
And when you
yeah,
finish mess around, then you could go and structure. You know, but
exactly.
you don't try to structure before you mess around. What are you really structuring?
Yeah. Can I give you a little just something that happened one time while I was still in Nigeria? So there was this artist. He wanted to do some work with me. He wanted to do some recording. So while he was practicing his saxophone, he didn't know I had the record button on. So I had the record button on. He didn't know. So because I've heard someone speak about this some time ago, there's a popular saxophonist then in Nigeria called Micah Remu. So I think he
Mhm.
had this same encounter, I think. So I heard it long ago. So whenever they are practicing, I just leave the record button on without telling them. Because there are some artists when you tell them, all right, 3, 2, 1, record, they feel they are on the spot,
Yeah, they choke.
creativity leaves. They just want like, oh, I don't have to miss this. I don't want to miss this. So we spent like an hour recording. So when we're done, I decided to play his work. I played the first one. Both of us didn't like it. Played the second one. I played them all. We didn't like it. So he was frustrated. Then I just went to the other one where he was rehearsing and he didn't know I was recording it. I played it. He was like, what's that? Did I play that? Was that me? I'm like, yeah, it's you. You're like, when? I said, when you were rehearsing. He said, please, delete the rest. I want this one. He was so happy. So I get what you mean. I get what you mean. Thanks so much. I think I'll stop here so we can go ahead with this. Thank you so much, Vijay.
All right. This is good
Wow,
conversation, man. Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah. So this is the song. So this is how Brain and I study mixes now. This is what I discovered when I was a student of mixing, trying to learn everything online, watching YouTube video, and I got to a point where I didn't like my mixes. So I think it must be the Holy Spirit or some God divine that just told me, how about you just go to the source? So I'm like, okay, the mixes that I like on the radio, what are they doing? So I started studying those mixes instead of learning from people. They're just confusing me. So I started doing that. I did that for consistently for about 3, 4, 5 years. And I still do it today. So I introduced that to Brian and he's been doing it. And this is how we learn. We learn from something but that's gone ballistic on the internet. A big hits. And you learn what is it about this mix that make it appealing to millions of people. This song has billions of views on YouTube, billions of plays on Spotify. And those are the songs that I study. I don't study anything that people don't care about because there's something in there that there's an emotion that people like. So we have to study what people like. And once we study that, we start to make a note. And we make those notes and we have a whole arsenal of learnings that we can pull from when we're writing our own songs or mixing our own song. So you're gonna see us do this, for the first time, Daniel.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
You were the word at the beginning, one with God the Lord Most High. Your hidden glory in creation, now revealed in you, our
Okay, after that goes into the look at the bridge.
The heavens are roaring, the praise of your glory. For you are raised to life.
All right. Now,
As Jamaican, we would say this is a little bit top heavy, you know, and as you would say, reggae music is a little bit bottom heavy, if you would say that.
yeah. Because the genre, the Hillsong genre, the musicians they love pop. You can tell in their production, but you know they created their own sound, and but they were all the principle were built on top of a pop song, and even the writings, the structure of the song, you know, the way they use contrast in the verse and the chorus. That's the pop formulas. This is, you see how big the chorus came in. Look at it. You can see right here. Look at the chorus section. Look at all the stuff that came in. Look at the verse section. You see? That's a power formula right there.
Yeah.
Contrast from small to big. Small, big. Now you contrast verse, beat, verse, the chorus. So that's a power formula. They're doing that. So this remind me of a song that I just released with an artist. You guys remind me to play that mix after we're done with this, so I can show you how I think I use some of the stuff from here and from another pop song, so I can show you because I remember I used some of the tricks here. So I noticed the background vocal for me, what created that atmosphere. I remember when I was doing this in my mixes, what created that atmosphere was the background vocal and how heavily reverb it is. Because in terms of the sonic contrast, the background vocal and lead vocal is the thing that has the biggest contrast. I can prove it to you guys. And when it comes to making a human fall in love with something, contrast is number one. Like even in viral content, go and watch viral content and pay attention. You know, the contrast is what they use. Most of them that understand how to create viral content, they use contrast a lot. They say, this is what happened. Even comedian use the same thing. If you're Nigerian, Daniel, you will be able to attest to this. Most comedian, when you crack a joke, is what it looks like to train a child in Nigeria versus what it looks like to train a child in America. How a Nigerian that just came to America versus a Nigerian that just came to Nigeria, or how people live in a rich neighborhood, how they live in a poor neighborhood. You know, contrast. Like look around everywhere, you see contrast. It's everywhere. So the chorus section. Let's solo the chorus section alone.
On heaven without us. So Jesus, you brought heaven down. My sin was great, your love was greater. What could separate us now? What a wonderful name it is. What a wonderful name it is.
Okay, you can see how forward and presence this lead vocal is, and we hear a little bit of the background in there.
Background vocal.
Yeah, but let me see if we can find more of the background here. This is one thing that me and Brian has learned. So let me give you that gist right now, so you can put it in your asana. When it comes to the music, let's look at how wide the music is. Compared to the lead vocal.
Full name it is.
Okay, there's lead reverb in there. Let me play you the bass or the drum section. The drum section for this song is gonna be wide as well because they have a lot of reverb in there, but maybe the bass will be, yeah. You see that? This is a mono sound.
Yeah.
Now compared to the music, that's the exact opposite.
Yeah.
So that's one thing you got to know. That's the contrast of the mono sound with a big wide sound.
It's in
That's
stereo. Yeah.
the stereo versus the lead vocal. There's presence in the high mid range.
Separate.
See, this is where the lead vocal in the terms of frequency. The low frequency here is 200. So they can leave all
I
this
think it's the
for
male vocalist behind
no,
that.
no. Yeah, the female vocal get to 200 sometimes, but it's not like it's not the main fundamentals. This is the main fundamentals right here. This is just harmonics that go to the back. You know, sometimes harmonics come to the back and go forward. So that's what I'm guessing it is, but it could be the fundamentals. Let's see.
Separate us now. What a wonderful name it is. What a wonderful name.
Actually, you're right. That's the male vocal turned down in the mix. Yeah, so this is a fundamentals right here, the lead vocal. So, and the presence of her, let's see what the drums is doing. Yeah, yes, this is nice. You see how they scoop the crap out of that drums? Why did they do that? The vocals.
Yeah, to keep space to the vocal.
Yeah, and you see they scoop the crap out of it because the drums here is not the main thing at all. That's something you got to learn. And this is exactly what I did in my mix. I'm gonna show it to you. I don't think I scooped mine as crazy as this, but the drums, it has to be dark, even though it has some brightness to it, but it has to be dark to move to the back because we don't want the drums in the front because the way that they design their space is the vocal, the music, and the background vocal. So the bass is just, you know, those are just like afterthought. So the main thing for me, if you even look at the in terms of wave of the amplitude, the two loudest thing is the vocal section and the music section. The bass is thinner, the drums is thinner. When we analyze other songs like pop song or R&B, you see the opposite. This will be as thin as the bass. The drums is very heavy. The music is thin. In pop music, sometimes it's very thin. And the biggest thing that you hear is the vocals and the drums. And the bass will be a third section of it. So, and they roll off a bunch of high end too. So there's nothing here. And in terms of stereo, it's pretty much mono except for the tom that's panned right. Yeah, this doing, and they always tom heavy too, most of the tracks.
Could you play the section that has the snare, more of the snare, so we can see if it pops up in the mid-range, please?
Yeah, that's it. You see? They still scoop the crap out of that mid-range. That vocal is the front and center. Their vocals and the background. That's where all the whole emotion of the song is, and the music as well. So those are the three biggest things: the vocal, the background, because they contrast the lead vocal, so that create that emotion for us. A vocal that's very heavily wet and in the background, and is multiple of them. There's stereo. versus a single bright vocal that's in front. When you hear both of them together, create that big emotion, like they've been a big awe, like, and the music also. So we have between 300 all the way to 3K, which is the exact opposite of the vocal, signal. Let me put the vocal again. I get the bass.
Equal, now and forever, God, you reign. Yours is the kingdom, yours is the glory, yours is the name above all names. What a powerful name it is. What a powerful name it is. The name of Jesus Christ. Equal, now and forever, God, you reign. Yours is the kingdom, yours is the glory, yours is the name above all names. What a powerful name it is. What a powerful name it is. The name of Jesus Christ, my King. What a powerful name it is.
Okay. So let's hear the drums.
Can we hear the drums and the vocals, and you could cut them in and out, cut the vocals in and out, so you know.
Equal, now and forever, God, you reign. Yours is the name above all names. What a powerful name it is. What a powerful name it is. The name of
Okay, this is one thing that I want you guys to take away from here, and Brent would know this because I've talked about this before. So when you hear the mix, before you're able to actually see what's going on, Danny, I want you to answer this question first. When you're hearing the full mix, let me remind you of the full mix again.
now and forever.
If I told you that that drum that you're hearing, the whole mid-range is gone, would you believe me? Without you
No,
seeing
at
it.
all. No.
Exactly. You would never believe that. You would think you're hearing
Yeah.
a full spectrum of drum section. So
Yeah.
when you're mixing without you understanding what's going on, you'll be like, "Ah, yeah, but when I hear the mix, the drums is full. So turn the mid-range up. Let us have a full drum section." And that's how
Yeah.
you mess
Can
up
I
your
say something?
mix.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
You know, while I was just playing around with my mixes years ago, there was a time I did some frequency allocation and cut off the mid-range of the drums. The mix sounds better, but I didn't do it because I felt I've never seen anyone do it on YouTube. So I'm like, no, no,
Exactly.
no, this must be wrong. It is wrong for it to sound nice. Something must be wrong. Maybe it
Something,
won't translate in
yeah,
other
because
mixes.
your mind will play trick on you. There was a teaching, Brand, you were in that class in 2003 or 2004. When I did an experiment in front of these guys. You remember that class, Brand? When I cut everything aggressively. You remember?
Yeah, I remember when you were doing that, but
I did that to make a point. I cut every frequency in every track aggressively, as in I put them in just one spot, like kick drum, 50 to 100. Bass drum, I put them in like one spot, very aggressive, and I play everything together. I say, can you tell me this was filtered into different stuff like this? No one could tell. I
I
did
mean,
that. You remember?
I'm, I remember, but as I said before, in learning, the child have to or the individual have to come to that realization. You know, you could cut stuff, you could show this, but if I don't understand from my standpoint, not from your standpoint, you know, you go to school, you learn in English, the teacher understand the ABC, all of that. She's just or he's just teaching it. Now you gotta come up to that. So when you were cutting stuff, you get what I'm saying? I try cut stuff. Didn't sound the same way. I'm like, no, this is wrong. He did it, but I don't know what is going on there. But when I cut my stuff, it feels thin. It kills my mix at that time. But no, I understand. So if I'm cutting, I could do all of that. If,
Yeah,
but
because
yeah,
the contest is always the key. And I was trying to explain that earlier in the training today when I said just hearing that vocal alone with that distortion, it may sound like the vocal doesn't sound good. But when you put it in a mix around other element, there's the opposite of what that vocal sounds like. You don't hear anything because that's the trick. See, when we're mixing, you have to understand there's something called the psychoacoustic of the human hearing. There's a lot of tricks that our brain plays on us because you think you're hearing something, it's actually your brain that's actually giving you the perception. So it's called the hearing perception. So because you could think you're hearing something, but your brain is telling you something else. That's why you can have a sound where the fundamental of the sound is 200 and you remove that fundamental frequency and you only leave the harmonics, which is the 400, the 600, the 800, and the brain still will recreate that 200 in its own mind just to complete that frequency. Have you heard about that before? It's called
it,
psychoacoustic. Uh,
well, well, in
and that's
in
what we do when they're reproducing. One second, when they do that for speakers, because small speakers can recreate low frequency, so they use psychoacoustics to kind of recreate those subharmonics, even though the speaker physically cannot recreate that 40, 50 hertz, but the psychoacoustic will will regenerate the harmonics, and you can hear and feel that bottom as well. So we do the same thing in a mix, and that's exactly what I mean when I say, can you tell that this whole mid range of this drum is scooped out? Because when everything is playing, your brain just recreate that mid range on its own. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a good thing you mentioned that. As I told him before, in sound designing, we all hear sound in different ways, you know, and how our brain record and can recall this sound. That's how we're gonna make it. So, yeah, if we're gonna make this mix based on what our brain recall, we would never cut that mids out like that because our brain is hearing the mids.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you permit me to speak, um, I think I understand what you're saying because I have tried that also, and I'll also tell you the challenge I had with that. Where I aggressively allocated the frequency for each instrument based on its base frequency. For instance, what I mean base, I mean BASE. So for the
Yeah,
base itself,
fundamentals. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, exactly. It's fundamental frequency. So for the base, I just put it at 50, 50 to 100 to 150. I left it there. The kick drums, there was a way I did it. Then I just separated each element in different frequency, and it sounded not bad, you know. But my challenge is when I have to work with instruments that have overlapping frequencies. So I found out that I had to make a choice. I had to make a choice. Am I gonna, if I have guitars and the piano, for instance, and they are clashing? So sometimes I'm like, do I change the tone of the piano, or do I move the frequency an octave higher for the piano? But if they have similar frequencies, I will now make a choice. I cut either the low mids of the piano and leave the high mids of the piano, while cutting down the high mids of the guitar and leaving the low mids of the guitar. So sometimes I've seen that that works, and based on so many YouTube videos also. So, and I think I've seen you doing that a lot. So I think I understand what you're trying to say. And also, I saw a video you posted some time ago. I don't know if that video is still available, where you were talking about um, most YouTube videos won't tell us the truth. And you
Mhm.
actually did this, you just said, where you had to cut some frequency, aggressively cut some frequency using, Ableton has a +4 um, low filter and low pass filter and high pass filter.
Yeah.
So actually, so I think I've seen something like that, and I've tried doing it, and it doesn't sound so bad. It doesn't sound so bad. It sounded good, and so I was like, that means you can actually allocate frequencies to different tone, get their fundamental frequencies, use them in the mix, and it might sound right. But I think I understand what you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah. So the question that you asked, I want to hear this mix and see what did they do for the separation of their guitars and piano, because they have guitars and piano in this one. So let's try to find out.
I think we hear more of the piano there, right? Like, yeah, we hear more
Did
of the
you see
piano there.
that? You see that?
Yeah,
So the piano is around 900, 1,000, and when you flip it the other way, you hear guitars.
yeah.
Now
Yeah,
we
I
hear
do that
guitar.
also now. Yeah, especially for acoustic guitars. Sometimes for acoustic guitars, I don't leave the low mids because
Yeah.
I found out I don't
So
need it.
yeah, so you just
And
turn
I
down, you
also,
turn down
yeah,
the attack of the piano. You just bring it down because
yeah,
guitar has more harmonics on the 2K, 3K area. So you just let your
yeah,
piano
yeah,
get in the low mid, like the
yeah,
500
yeah,
to 900 area.
yeah.
That's exactly what they
One of the
did.
challenges I also have also that I had to learn was the use of automation, because I'm very terrible with using automation. I feel it's so much work, but now I
Yeah,
have to change my mind
let me
on that.
let me tell you what one of the greatest mixer. I used to be like that too. I used to, you know, think about, you need to automate, you need to automate. Yeah, no, but this is what he said. And when he said that, Manny Marroquin said it in an interview. It said most people that rely on automation is because they don't know how to mix. It's it's
Mm,
you actually create more work for yourself. Why are you automating back and forth? Unless your automation is actually creative automation, which is you turning volume up in a creative way, not trying to use automation as mixing. You need to solve the masking problem in the mix first. Don't try to turn something up because at the verse section the piano is too low, so you automate the piano to go up. Then instead of actually solving the conflict, you have to solve the conflict problem first, then you automate. And most of the time when you solve the conflict in the frequency conflict, you don't need to automate that much. What else do you need to automate? Like, I don't automate. If I do automation, it's probably just writing reverbs going up and down, or there's a reverb throw or delay throw I want something to do. That's the only thing I automate. Everything else, if I need automation to solve a problem, I duplicate the track. Maybe I want a bass to have a more more harmonics on the 800 area, 400 area, duplicate the track, put saturation on the bass, cut the low. That's it. I don't need to be automating this and that. Whatever you need to solve that problem. Don't try to rely on automation to be solving a
Yeah.
mixing problem. That's just being lazy. Or you
Yeah.
don't know
So
what
what
you're
I
doing.
did, yeah,
Yeah.
thanks. So what I did with automation is it's quite creative, I believe. It's not much. So what I did is, sometimes in the beginning of a song, let's say verse one is just the vocalist and the pianist playing.
Okay. I know
So
where
the
this is
pianist
going.
tend yes, so the pianist tend to play on the low end,
Hmm.
just to make the music fuller,
Yeah.
So he plays, so I allow the pianist to play, but during the chorus session, where other instruments comes in, the bass comes in, I have to
Yeah.
automate
Hmm.
and take the low end of the piano to give that space to the bass. So that's what I was trying to say.
No,
That's
I
just it.
wouldn't. I wouldn't automate that. Just duplicate the track and mix them differently. Let the verse with the piano and the vocal has no low mid or whatever. Then once you come to the chorus, cut the lower mid for the bass to do that. That's it. You don't need to automate
Okay.
that.
But won't that be like more tracks, more plugins? You
Well,
know,
well, that's up to you. You want to do more tracks, but there is a endless of tracks on DAW, so
of
it's
course,
not
yes,
it's not
true.
like
Yeah. I
unless.
think I think I like this too. I'm gonna try this a lot too. I
Yeah,
think I like it.
just duplicate it
Yeah,
and just cut. And when you do that, it's permanent because sometimes the automation
and
just
it gives me
turns
more
itself.
control.
Exactly. And sometimes the
Yeah.
automation goes off. Like you don't remember it's off. So, you know, it's just too much complication. Just simplify. Duplicate the track, mix one for the verse, mix one for the chorus. And the story.
It's
Yeah.
it's very important you mentioned this. So, and I'm gonna recall what I said before about the individual getting up to par with the knowledge. Like for instance, the track that I show how I automate the chorus in this like top guitar sound, from a metal perspective, and even you're mentioning these things, even when I showed that, Daniel didn't get it, even when you speak of it. You get what I'm saying?
No, 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 no. I'm not understanding what you're saying. Can you?
On my track, right? I got my instruments playing. So for automation, I add distortion. So I could really beef up the track, not on a low end level, but give it some metallic sound in the chorus. You remember I was displaying that,
Yeah.
right? And this is what you're saying. You use it for enhancement and taste, and not to solve mixing issues, because solving mixing issues is not taste and stuff like that. So I'm saying the individual have to get up to par with the knowledge,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
even when it displaying from he or she, if they don't get it, then you know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Makes sense. Yeah, let me see if I can load this session. Uh,
In the beginning of the song, I think they got a pad playing. Is it a pad?
which one?
The one that is on the screen. Is it a pad? A pad and vocal. What is right?
Like a one note drone.
Yeah, That's very important too. So the rest of the frequencies is just vocals,
Yeah.
and that is going up to the point of the drum. You got a little
Yeah. Then it start building up on like that.
right,
And when it gets to the chorus section,
right.
it just slime you with a whole bunch of goodness.
Let the drums in. That is what we're talking about, right?
See that level. So the music is dominating the drums. That's how you know. That's how you know the genre that you're in. It's the levels. Daniel, check this out. If I switch this level to the opposite, I want you to tell me if this is gonna still sound like a hill song. If we turn the drums up, minus 6 dB, I mean plus 6 dB, and turn the music down minus 6 dB. Let's see what happens.
Jesus, you brought heaven down. My sin was great, your love was greater. What could separate us now? What a wonderful name it is. What a wonderful name it is. The name of Jesus.
Yeah, that switched the energy of the mix, but because the drums has been processed to sit in the back, it's still not gonna
Right.
get present. But you could tell this just shift the whole energy a lot.
Yeah, it shifts the dynamic, and as you said, the drums are not created to be punchy and
To be in the
pop.
front.
Yeah. So
Yeah. But I'm sure you get the points.
yeah.
I do. I get the point.
Yeah.
A wonderful name it is. The name of Jesus Christ, my King. What a wonderful name it is. Nothing compares to this. What a wonderful name it is. The name of Jesus. What a wonderful name it is. The name of
That's it for this session. Any other question before I turn this
Please,
off?
I have like 2 questions, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. I'm on the other side of the room. Okay, so please, what software did you use to split the tracks this
Oh,
way?
okay. Okay, I'll show you the process. I did show Brian, so it's a simple process. Once you download the MP3, you go to a website called Fader.
Is it Fade Arrow?
I'm gonna share my screen so you can see. 1 second. Can you see my screen?
Yes, please.
Yeah. The website is called Fader. FADR.
.com.
Fader.com. I just drop it in there and you download the stems. Right.
Doesn't it affect quality?
Oh, a little bit. Yes, it does. Yeah, affects the quality a little bit, but this is just for learning purposes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And my last question, please. Do you notice that the sound always same? It's not harsh to the ears, you know, it's not harsh to the ears, and also the drums. How can I process drums to sound like this? That was
Oh,
what I was asking. Yeah, remember that was the question I was trying to ask. That um, I
okay.
want to have this Hillsong sound in most of my work
Okay,
to
let me
sound
bring up
large.
let me bring up my mix so I can show it to you because this is I told you I did a song that has
Yeah.
that type of feel. Let me play you guys the song also before we actually
Because
go
most
into the
times
mix.
I incorporate drum sets in my mix. I use real actual drum sets, and I don't use any drum replacement plugin. Actually, I use MIDI drums. I use Contact. Yeah, I use Contact. What's the name of this drum? Yeah, it's a drum plugin in Contact. Yeah, that's what I use most times. So the gospel feel thing. That's why I was asking. Uh, I really want to learn this. Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah, don't worry, I'll show it to you. This the song that can you see the Spotify?
Yes, please.
So this is a song that I produce and mix for a client. Why is it not playing? Okay. Why is it not playing? After signing?
Yeah, probably have to log in.
Let's see. Can you hear the music? Can you hear the
Not
music
yet,
or no?
please.
Huh?
No,
Oh,
please.
why is it not playing music? Can you hear the music?
Yes, please.
Okay.
I
Good. Let's see. Okay, 1 second. Let's see, where is the final mix?
want
Maybe this one, but I'm not sure. Let's see.
I see
Yeah, that's not the final mix. Where is the final mix on here? Yeah. Anyway, let's use this session for
You playing that from out your door?
yeah, it's coming from the door. Yeah.
All right. We're not seeing the door.
Oh, you're not seeing the door?
No.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Can you see the door now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't really use the technique all the way, but I'm gonna save this mix so we can actually use what we'll learn right away, because that's what I like. When you learn something, you gotta use it right away before you lose it. So let's name this Hillsong. So we're gonna put what we're learning to use, because I have all the elements in that song in here as well, so we can actually recreate the mix if we want to, or something close. Of course, it's not going to be exactly as theirs. So the drum section. Okay. So our drums is too bright. So what do we need to do? All this extra.
You're gonna carve out the mids out of it?
Yeah.
I think well, you got some stuff in the mids, right?
Yeah, I have some stuff in the mid. So I'm gonna carve out the mid and kill the attack. So our drums is heavy because I love heavy drums. So we need to kill the attack. What do we need to kill the attack? Bring out a transient shaper to kill the attack. Let me see which one I want to use. I got two that I can use.
Can you use EQ to do it also?
Yeah, we're gonna use EQ, then we're gonna use plugin. So we know we need to scoop out a whole bunch of mid-range. Okay, so this is the drums without the processing. You see, my processing kind of make it darker a little bit. This is the drums without anything. Oh wow, that sounds good. But anyway, we're trying to kill it, make it sound terrible. So we need a big wide. You see that?
Yeah.
So still too bright. Oh, this is another trick that I can show you guys. Let me see. What is there? Yeah, bit crushing. So if I put a brick crush on it, and this is what we have.
So what does Beat Crusher actually do? Does it cut out the mid range?
Is that what?
The Beat Crusher, is it cutting out the mid range and adding some 15K?
No. The bit crush doesn't cut the mirroring. It cut the fidelity. The fidelity means the top end. So see if I come all the way here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is one of the tricks that Drake producer, this is what they use on Drake's music. Remember that Marvin Room? How that music was so dark and the vocal was just like bright and everything. This is what he did. He cut the music, the whole music, all the way down here. This is different from EQ. EQ cannot get you the sound. Look at that. Let me show you. I'm gonna put this at 4K. Now let's try to replicate that with putting the EQ at 4K. All you hear is a completely different sound. 1, 2, 3, 4K. Now we got the EQ at 4K and we got the as 4K. Tell me the difference.
You see, it didn't work.
Now let's cut this at 4K.
And even it makes the low end a little bit thicker.
Exactly,
Heavier.
because it had something to the low end as well. It makes it thicker because it's adding its own harmonic generation on the one that goes on to the back, the low one.
Yeah.
But anyway, so we're trying to recreate this. So we need to. I don't really have to use the bit crusher. So we need So we need to cut the attack because we're too spicy on the attack.
With the EQ, could you just bring down those high frequencies, or you want to create a particular sound?
Yes. I already brought it down, but
no, like dip it right where it's at, like at the peak. What's that? 6? Is that 6,000 or something? 6K?
No,
Yeah.
7,558 kilohertz.
With the EQ, dip it right there. Let's see if that could. Right.
Yeah, we have to take it to like 6K, I think.
At the peak.
Yeah.
Still a little bit bright, but
yeah,
that's not bad. That's not bad.
It's not bad at all. So sometimes I double the EQ to have more. Yeah, see now.
Yeah.
Now we're getting
that
there.
was what I was trying to say. That can this replicate the beat crusher?
Yeah.
No karate, me a shorty, rolling with the Glock 40.
Someone is getting inspired. Okay, now let's go to the music section. Okay, the music sound more like theirs. Let's check the width to make sure we're wide, just like theirs. Okay, so let's check the vocal. So what?
How many takes did you have for the choir here?
I hired 2 choirs, 2 different people from Fiverr to sing their backgrounds for me. So two black male or female, and one lady from Argentina, and I blend both of them together to create that effect.
Like, how many takes did they have? Was it up to 10 takes?
Not really. The black people, I think they have more takes.
It sounds wide and sounds like you had many takes.
It's because I added reverbs and delays. You know, reverb and delay multiply sound. There's like just multiples of the same thing. So even though they're not that thick, they're not that many layers, they probably did like, if I can find the original sound, I can tell you how many layers, but it's not that much layer. It's just 2 people singing. Then I layer it with another girl.
I see love. I see love. I see love.
So both of them together.
I see
That's nice.
Okay. One thing I noticed that they were doing, I don't know if you guys noticed in their track, even though the vocals has a lot of reverb, they're using a gate to gate the reverb from spilling over to the next beat.
Right.
So let's try to do that as well.
So the vocals can cut through, right?
Yeah. No, the vocal is gonna cut through, but you know, listen to when their words stop. You hear a little decay. Yeah, those extra tail.
Okay.
Yeah, we're trying to kill
Yeah.
those. We're trying to kill those because they did that as well. So let's see how we can do it. Okay, let's see how that play in the music.
I see love in Jesus. I found love in Jesus. I see love in Jesus. I found love in Jesus. I see love in Jesus. I found love in Jesus. I see love in Jesus. I found love in Jesus. I see love. I see love.
The drums is not that heavy. The drums is, we can hear it. It carries the song, but it's not so prominent, just like Hillsong. Yeah.
Yeah. So now you see how to make the drums sound how you want it, right?
Yes.
So I think the music might be a little
Concerning the stereo, the music element, do you like if I have two guitars, one way I normally do is that I pan one to the right, pan one to the left.
I just posted a video about that last night. I just posted a
To make
video
it
about that
wider.
last night on the social media.
You wanna do the same thing that you did to the drums, to the music elements, but not just a little bit for a taste. Not killing it, just give it a little taste.
Like what? What do you mean?
With was it you use like differ or something like that on the drums?
On the drums, I used just EQ. That's all we use on the EQ.
Yeah, you were using a plugins and before we head over to the EQ. What was that?
I turned everything off.
I know you did that. I'm saying just add that same plugin to the music and give it a particular sound and see how it blends with the drums.
Oh, you talking about the Bit Crusher?
Yes. Not crushing everything, just a slight touch of it.
Okay, let's see.
All right, put the drums in. Let me hear. You could just blend them. Let us hear the vocals.
I see love. I see love. I see love. Love. I see love. I see love. Love. I see love. I see love. Love. I see love. I see love.
Would be really up to you. You
Yeah,
know,
that sound. I like the sound too.
you like that sound? That's what I
Mhm.
was hearing in my head. You know.
Yeah, because that creates space for the vocals, and it just makes everything sound cleaner. So that's another lesson that Daniel, you should learn. The reason, one of the benefit of cutting is voltage, because you have to look at frequency like voltage. It was someone that actually talked about that. I think Dave Pensado or Jason Joshua, maybe both of them or one of them. So when you're cutting stuff, you leave in voltage for something else to take place in that area. So, and because when you add unnecessary frequency on top of each other, you use up your voltage and your headroom faster. So by doing this, it gives us more room for something else to take place, to take that spot. Yeah. There is a mix that I've done that I use this crusher on pretty much everything, and it sounds so good because it's like a filter. If it restricts uh, frequency, so nothing crossover. It's not like EQ. EQ. Even though when you use the X4, if you're not being aggressive, some stuff are still spilling over. It really depends on the application though. So. I see love in Jesus. I found love in Jesus. All right, that's it. It's a really good class. Thank you guys for coming. We'll do it again next week.
Okay, it was nice being here.
Huh?
It was
Thank
nice
you so
being
much.
here.
I was just trying to write down all I've learned today. I was trying to
Yeah,
write it down just to
yeah. We have
try
the
and don't
recording.
forget.
So when you join the school Loud Lab, I'm gonna start posting the recordings on there.
Okay. Okay.
All right, man.
So I don't know if you want me to have a chat with you after the class on WhatsApp. Is that okay?
Yeah. Me and you can wait after maybe Brent. Can you give us a minute? We'll see you on next Saturday.
Yeah. Okay.
All right.
All right. So,
See you, Brian.
so.